Are we on? Wait, that's us. Hi, welcome to Live to Roll, rolling with the Golden Oldies, including not just the ladies this time. So, our special guest today is Robert Rohan, or Bobby.
Woohoo!
I am Ellen Stoll, and this is Michelle, and this is Robert Rohan,
Hey
and we
guys.
are here today talking about disability portrayals in the media. We have a great show, and we would love to hear from y'all about, what are your favorite portrayals or what are your most hated portrayals. Hello, Leon. So glad to have you here. Let's start out with our sponsors, which is Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals, both amazing organizations that support people with disabilities in a variety of ways and do so very seamlessly and expertly. So we really appreciate them. And we also appreciate them being here on our show. And hello, Nicole. We're so happy to have you here again. Yep, those are our sponsors again, Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. And Robert Soto has also joined us to talk about media portrayals. We were having a pre-show, but let everybody introduce themselves. I am a C8T1 incomplete quad, as y'all probably know, for 42, almost 43 years now. Just
All
a
right.
long
Hi.
time.
It sure is. I'm Michelle Altamirano, and I have a C6-7 spinal cord injury, and I'm 36 years post-injury.
An incomplete
All right, Bobby, you're
quad,
next.
as y'all probably
My buddy here.
What's up, everybody? I know I got Sean cracking up right now. I'm Bobby Rohan, C5, C6, and I'm a couple days younger than my friend Michelle here. So it's been 36 years. Robert, welcome.
Okay, how you guys
Glad you-
doing? My name is Robert. I'm a T12 spinal cord injury from a motorcycle racing accident 51 years ago. In a few months, in a few months, I'll hit that 52 mark. So
Wow.
closing in on that. So anyway, thanks for having me today.
Robert, you beat me by 10 years. That's
Yeah.
I often feel like I'm the oldest one.
Well,
But
because I'm
it's
going
always
to be
nice to
also
see somebody older.
Yeah.
because my injury is in March, and I'm also going to be turning 72. So
Holy smokes, you look great for
yeah.
72.
Well, thank you.
But that's good to know. Isn't it always great though to meet people who are ahead of you so that you can go, hey, they look fabulous. If they can do it, I can make 72
Yeah.
and be active and be out there and doing stuff.
Yep. But the
So
one thing that I run into is that I have some issues going on now mostly with dealing with just the aging piece, nothing to do with the disability. And but I don't, there's nobody else that I know. I mean, the people that I know that are older than me or as old as I am, some of them are just in a whole different arena in their disability. So there's things I need to know, and even the doctors say, well, we don't know because there's not any studies and there's not a lot of people that
that's
are,
true.
Yeah,
so
that
that's what
is
I'm
true.
running into problems.
Can I ask, is Marty Ball, do you guys know Marty Ball? He's still
Yeah.
around,
Oh, yeah.
right? And he's older, right, Bobby? Isn't Marty in his 70s too? Upper
Yeah,
70s?
yeah. He's about the same age and maybe injured just as long as Mr. Soto here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's around
And
that
what's
time.
interesting? Not too long ago, 60s, early 70s, people with spinal cord injuries didn't live past 50 years. It was just there was so little known about infection treatment and urology care and bowel care and all of that, and the majority of the people were service related type of injuries and stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot.
And
Vietnam,
now it's
they
like,
were coming
hey,
home. Yeah,
sky's
because
the
you figure
limit. Yeah.
Vietnam, they were coming home in wheelchairs from Vietnam, so that
Oh,
was
yeah.
a big piece there.
Yeah.
Well, or I don't know if anybody heard this term of, oh, you got injured, that's automatically 20 years off your life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've heard
yes.
that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely 20
For
years.
sure.
Well, then you hear the research on sitting, right? Sitting all the time will 10 years off your life. I'm like,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
detrimental to your health, right?
Good.
Yeah.
I can really, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
But that, yeah.
they didn't
So
paint a
speaking
promising
about
picture.
images, ooh, you want to
I
share a
was,
topic, Ellen?
yeah, I was. So media, which I was going to actually, Robert Soto, you really brought us into the, with Coming Home, right? That was one of the
Yeah.
formidable
70s.
portrayals
Very
Yeah.
first one.
like one of the biggest ones. Well, yeah, Coming Home was huge. So what did you guys remember that film, Coming Home, with we should look it up who's in it.
John
Jane-
Boyd.
Jane-
John
Jane
Boyd,
Fonda,
there you go.
John Boyd. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jane Fonda.
So what did you
so
think
that
about
was-
that portrayal as one of the ones?
Well,
Well,
I was in that one.
yeah. So Robert, you go first because he
Oh,
was
wow.
in
Yeah,
it.
you talk about it.
Yeah. Well, this was back in '76, I think, when they were filming, because we were at Rancho. I was at Rancho. We used to go there for the weekends to play wheelchair sports and stuff like that. So they sent some scouts out there. They were looking for people in wheelchairs, but they were primarily also looking for people, disabilities, wheelchair, that were actually in Vietnam. So I applied for the part. I had a tryout for the part, but didn't get the part I really was trying for because of what I wasn't a veteran. But they still wanted me in there, so I still had a chance. And plus, I was a film student in college at the time, so it was kind of cool that I wanted to learn all the stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was pretty good. I know it was a big deal because it was the first of the Vietnam films. People didn't know if they were ready for the Vietnam era films. I think it was
Right.
it was Coming Home
So
and The
did
Deer
you
Hunter were
look
the first two
too
movies.
disabled for them? Was it too real?
No, no. It's just it's just that there was so much in the script that was ad libbed about Vietnam. So they'd have these little
Oh.
round tables with these guys sitting around a pool table and just kind of talking, and they were talking real experience. Where I didn't have that, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's considered like one of the better portrayals, right? I mean, he has a sex life, he has an affair, but but he's a complex character that they really show as an individual having an emotional and a sex life, and that he's not bitter and angry and awful and horrible. And I mean, if you contrast him with Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that was in 78. So, in 1978, it's considered the groundbreaking portrayal. Now, of course, we have what they call crip face, because you have an able-bodied actor playing the disabled character.
Yeah.
Which, they still do. Want an Oscar? Play a disabled character.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
and that's a big question. Is bad representation better than no representation?
No.
Not right. No, not at all.
Okay. But I'll argue this point, and what people ask me about that, because a lot of times in film, like probably Coming Home, John Boyd was able-bodied at the beginning, right? Just like Born on the 4th of July, Tom Cruise was, they did scenes before, and then you have to do scenes after. I don't know. I mean, maybe, and granted, now with AI, I'm sure now we can do anything. I mean, look at Forrest Gump, or was that Forrest Gump? Lieutenant Dan, you got no legs. I mean, how they did that was pretty amazing. And the way he sat, I saw the making of how they actually had a cutout. So when he got on the ledge of the boat and then turned his body around like he was an amputee and then jumped off. Yeah, I mean, but now with AI, I mean, they can make me able-bodied for half
But
changes
why
everything.
use AI when there are plenty of disabled individuals that are real?
Only if you're portraying something. Only if you're portraying something before my injury.
Yeah.
Like,
right. And back then, I mean, I was told, because I was an actor before I was injured, I was literally told by Department of Rehab to choose a different career. And I was injured in 83, but I was told in 83 to choose a different career because being disabled, film was not a viable career for people with disabilities. So in 78, I totally get it, right? I see both sides of it now. However, we do have a cadre of well-trained actors, and I feel like you should be giving them the benefit of the
More,
doubt, but then
yeah,
you also have to have star power, right? Because to make a
yeah,
movie,
Yeah.
you're gonna have
Oh
to.
yeah.
So I mean, it is
yeah,
not. It's not a black and white problem at all. But
yeah,
mainly it's about what is the portrayal saying to the general public, and is it promoting,
exactly.
inclusion, equity, and all of those things, or is it
Yeah,
reinforcing negative stereotypes and
absolutely. Yeah.
microaggressions and bias, subliminal bias that has people patting us on the head and treating us like
Hmm.
we would be better off dead than disabled.
Yeah. Hmm. It,
I
it
Let me
think
does
ask you.
perpetuate those stereotypes because people are just seen as they're being portrayed, able-bodied people as disabled people. And of course, it's not authentic and all of that.
Yeah.
And however they write the script for this person, this is what stays in people's mind. And to them, oh,
Yeah.
that's what, it is to be
Well, I
disabled,
think you're all
and
making. I think you're all making a great point, but you got to look at the era. I mean, nowadays.
yeah,
Okay, are we talking about present time, or back in the '70s or whatever, '60s? When Crip Camp and all that stuff. When
hmm,
so like John Voight, I know was the acting quality that he had. He spent a lot of
yeah,
time with us and some other people that were actually the technical advisors. But he stayed in
hmm,
that chair all day. He didn't get out,
yeah,
and you learned that he did a really good job of
yeah,
portrayal. I mean, I would like to see a real, able disability in there, but he did a
mhm,
really good job because that's just the type of actor. I guess if it
yeah,
could have been someone else and they didn't do as good of a
a good
method,
job,
in
yeah,
terms of, yeah,
hmm,
no, absolutely. I think John. I mean, and I think it was an amazing film. I will say that Coming Home was
hmm,
groundbreaking and really did make a difference by giving John Voight's character complex emotional life. I mean,
yeah,
having
absolutely,
sex
yes,
in 1978, and because beyond that, there's so many other portrayals that show people with disabilities as asexual, right? And so,
yeah,
yeah,
if we see these portrayals and then we find ourselves in that situation, that's what we think our life is going to be like. And I think that's
yeah,
the problem with the people will say, but it's just a movie. Yeah, but it's a movie
yeah,
that's informing the way
yeah,
certain people are perceived.
yeah. And the thing
Um,
is that the majority of the public is not familiar with, different types of disabilities unless it affects them personally. So, what they're seeing on the screen is what they think life is with a disability.
yeah.
So
The
it's not,
public,
I mean, they've taken good steps towards representation, but unfortunately all the time, they don't really come off as authentic
well,
and real, you know?
yeah.
And
Well,
yeah, I mean,
there's
like with all minorities, I'm sorry, with all minorities, there's underrepresentation in the movies, So everybody's
yeah,
kind of fighting to get their foot in the door and, get these uh, better roles and try to bring real life to the screen.
yeah. Well,
I can't.
I think. Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, I can't ask you because you were actually in the movie Injured. Ellen and Ellen and Michelle, did you see the movie before your injury?
No,
No,
Right.
yeah,
Um, which is
it wasn't my
interesting.
film.
Right,
yeah,
right. Wasn't my film either. I mean,
I was 14.
I,
I wasn't into Vietnam films.
because
yeah,
after my injury and being in rehab for 6 months with,
yeah,
running out of things to do, they're like, hey, you should one time check it out. So we rented the movie and, not my kind of film, but, I was just like, okay, cool. And then I remember going to the theater and seeing Born on the 4th of July. Okay, still don't relate. It's a different time. But I didn't think anything about it until a couple years later. Then you're like looking at it in a different lens, because you're disabled.
hmm,
And I think we can be the toughest critics about
Oh yeah.
film and
Yeah,
disability, right? I mean, we're going to be sore and hurt at the end of the day when we don't see as much. I mean, it's
yeah,
getting better. You gotta say that. And I mean, we have somebody with disabilities winning Academy Awards. Granted,
Yes.
they're deaf, but they've won Academy Awards.
yeah,
Yes. No. But
yeah,
in some ways, it gets better. I mean, Me Before
hmm,
You
yeah,
is one of the worst frickin' portrayals of disability in the whole
yeah,
world. He's handsome. He's rich. He becomes a quad, and
And his
and
life. Yeah.
and finds somebody that falls in love with him, and he still decides to kill himself because her
Yeah.
life will be better without him. I mean, that trope of better off dead than disabled is reinforced.
Yeah.
I just watched Grey's Anatomy, an episode where it's about Christina Yang, but it's about a moment that changes your life. And somebody's a quad. She saves his heart, but he's a quad. And so the wife is like, no, he'll want to die. He won't want to live like this. But so they show his choice 3 different times. No, he wants to die. Right? But this is like within 24 hours of having the surgery, right? And there was a real case like this, that a man fell, broke his neck. They brought him out of sedation, asked him if he wanted to die, literally said, you'll never be able to hold your newborn baby. And he chose to die. Like within 24 hours this happened, right? Well, if you'd asked me within 24 hours, I would have said, no. Why? Because of what I thought life was like with a disability. I would have been like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this. Right. So, but both of those portrayals, the idea, and the one where he lives, he's bitter, he's angry, he blames his wife every day that he has to live like this. And she feels like it is the most like Grey's Anatomy. This was, that's not that old, showing this crap.
No, it's not.
Right. And it makes people think that, life like that would be horrible. We don't see, it's the ones where we see real things. So I mean, I think we've gotten better in some way. And I still think Born on the 4th of July, I mean, he was just bitter and angry. But as a person, I met him. He was a bitter and angry person. Like, Tom Cruise portrayed him as who he is, right? Like, he was not a happy, nice man. So, he was not happy, and that has as much to do with the disability and being in Vietnam, and that's a whole different level
a whole other thing. Yeah.
But I think we've come home in some ways, but in others we have not.
Yeah. I mean, and you can clearly tell they haven't consulted with people who actually live as quadriplegics or whatever the situation is. If you're going to put the effort to make the show and put it out there for people, can't you take it a little step further and actually talk to people who live life as quads and paras to bring a little bit of authenticity to your show? I think it, would come over, much better and more realistic, for people who don't know anything about living with a disability. And it's just then we're all lumped in one group, and so we're all disabled, and we're all, have no life and all of that. And if they took the time and sat with a group, they could just see, hey, we're real people. We want the same things as everybody else, and we work hard, and try to live our lives the best as we can, and
But on Amazon is a movie called "Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot." It's based off John Callahan. He was a cartoonist. That was a quad that, did cartoons, very satire types of cartoons. And Joaquin Phoenix played the lead role. He came to Rancho, and I got to train him for four times. He came twice just to talk to us, came to our support group. Then he came for actual wheelchair training. And we put him in a manual chair and a power chair. So, I look at that as, right on, And
I agree with you, Bobby. I agree. An actor should be able to play the role if they learn the craft. The problem is they won't let me play the mom,
the role,
or that. I mean, rarely can I get an audition that doesn't say wheelchair person. And literally, it will say wheelchair person half the time. It doesn't say male or female, right? So if you're going to open it up so that all able-bodied actors can play disabled people and learn the craft, then open it up so that I can play the whatever. The lead, or even the side character next door, or ever. So, I mean, that is getting better. But the real feeling is like, I think an actor is an actor. That's the job, right? We're playing people we aren't and learning things we aren't. So let's get to do that.
And what it comes down to, but what it comes down to is they want that box office draw. So if there's a really good actor that can pull it off, they're going to pick that box office draw over an disabled person that can be a great actor, a good actor. They want that box office draw.
Then put the other people in there as smaller parts. right?
Yeah,
Bring
yeah, I agree.
authenticity into,
I
like
agree.
you did, like they did in Coming Home, right? They had
Yeah,
other veterans,
yeah,
like bring the
yeah,
other
Yeah.
people in, or
yeah,
Mhm.
give somebody the role as a secretary
yeah,
somewhere that has nothing to do with their disability. I think the
yeah.
best role is when the storyline is not based on the disability, right?
Yes.
Right,
That's
right,
a better role.
right.
I mean,
Mhm.
there are some great films out there that
Mhm.
and great portrayals out there. Sex Education. I don't know if you've all seen Sex Education. There's an
Love it.
actor in Love it, isn't he great? And
Mhm.
he's great. He's really in a chair, and he, sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes he's a shitty guy. So
Yeah.
he's just a guy. He just is
That's
a
what
Just a
guy.
guy.
that's what was
Yeah.
great about that role. And his role is, just because you're disabled doesn't mean you're all happy. Trying
A
to,
saint.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can be a dick, you can be a good guy,
Yeah.
you can be all those things that he came week to week, liked the girl, got the girl, then doesn't have the girl. Um, good portrayal. I mean,
And
it's stuff.
none of it having to do with his wheelchair. He didn't lose the girl because of the wheelchair. He lose the girl
Right.
because
Yeah.
he erased text and she was actually in love with somebody else before she had met him. So
Yeah.
that is an excellent. I mean, that is an amazing show that
Yeah.
really shows
And
that.
the thing too, it's like I'm curious what non-disabled people think of that. I mean, we're living the life, so yeah, we're critical and we're going to nitpick, and we should, so they can make these parts better. But I'm curious as to what able-bodied people, how they see that portrayal
I
of.
will tell you because I teach this, so I teach
Okay,
that my students go out and watch film.
cool. I
So
want
I
to
know.
know.
Before I do it, they're all like, "Oh, these are such great films. They're so heartfelt. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
cried and cried and cried." Blah, blah." And I'll be like, "Really? Huh? Now let's look at it through this lens." And they'll be like, "Oh my god, you're so right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's horrible." They just did their film project, which was what made me think of this. That like The
Mhm.
Quiet Place, which I think is an amazing film that shows death as just part of the family and
Yeah.
everything else, right? But there is a lot of stereotypes and bias about her being a girl. She can't go hunting with her. Like they were bringing out, like, look at the bias they have because she's
Every,
disabled. And the girl, would he have done this to his son? Would he have told his son to stay home? But he took his younger son hunting and allows them to go to the
yeah.
waterfall, but not the girl who's deaf, right? Like I was like, whoa, you guys are good. Like
Right.
the
There you
portrayal of
go. Yeah.
disability is really good, but the sexism is still there, like the
Yeah,
bias and
yeah.
sexism. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you gotta enjoy the shows. Just critically think about what it's portraying. But yes, Sean, that Grey's Anatomy season 10 episode, I think 16 or so. It is such a frick. I mean, season 10 in Grey's Anatomy. So it is such a
Mhm.
freaking awful episode that, like,
Mm.
it's cringeworthy. And the actor, of course, is you see him. No, I don't know if you ever see him before the accident. So maybe he was really a paralyzed person. I don't know.
Yeah.
What
Because
made
you
it
never
hor-
see him before the accident.
what made it horrible?
Because when he chose to live, he was bitter and angry, and he blamed his wife that he had to live like this only because she was there when he had
Yeah.
to decide to either pull the plug or
Yeah,
not.
okay.
And he chose to live, and then so they're fighting, and all he does is blame her that his life is horrible, and I wouldn't be here if you would have, if you hadn't
Yeah.
been in the room when they asked me to live, I would have said no. And then
Yeah.
she's like, all I do is I'm not his wife anymore. I'm his cleaner and his caregiver and
Oh
his
my
nurse
God. Yeah.
and blah, blah. And then she tries to kiss the doctor, and it's like, I mean, it's like
Oh, great. Yeah.
like everybody's fear, because I dated people that were like, their parents were like, you can't date her, you'll be taking care of her the rest of your life.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like,
Yeah.
well,
It does. I mean, but I'll tell you, her crying like that, maybe he took it too far by kissing the doctor. But I mean, there is a lot of women, and then I'm sure there's men out there that probably feel like that towards their spouse. We hear about it all the time. So I'm not going to
Yeah.
say that's nothing new. I hate that. We were talking about it just 2 seconds before we got live, and $1 Million
Yeah.
Baby. I was, furious at the
Mhm.
ending. After she,
Yeah.
loses her fight. Now she's paralyzed, and the first thing she's thinking about is killing herself. And it's like, maybe you have a purpose. And this happened to me in real life after my injury.
Yeah.
A year later, my parents were going to a support group for family, and
Mhm.
they would come home and tell me about this husband was there and that his wife is stopped eating because she wants to end her life, and she has 4 kids,
Oh my
young.
God.
Ugh.
all under the age of 10,
Wow.
and she can't handle being paralyzed, my level, and she wants to end it. It's like I was so just furious. Um, it just bothered me in the sense like you don't want to see your kids get married. Did you know that you can be in a
Yeah.
power chair and live a very productive? You know,
Yeah.
it was just more. You know, I mean, yes,
But
it's
I
not
think
easy,
that's the thing.
not
In the
pretty.
beginning, they have no idea. I mean, think of yourself. When your injury first happened, you had no freaking idea what kind of a life you would have, in the future, what you would be able to do. I mean, especially if you're a quad and you absolutely can't move a single thing. I mean, thank God, some people get better and progress and blah, blah, blah. But we didn't know that we could live awesome lives and have, amazing friends and family and all of that. So I
No,
think,
I
I mean, I
yeah.
get it because of the time frame in the beginning. And I mean, how many of us didn't want to, you know what? Hell no, I'm out. I don't want this, and until I would say maybe you meet the first wheelchair user and they're like 2 years post injury and you're like, hey, he's made it work.
Well,
Maybe I could make it.
that
I
movie,
mean, I
that
wanted
movie,
to die.
Yeah.
And if my mom had been Clint Eastwood, because I refused medical treatment and I would have died. If she'd been Clint Eastwood, I wouldn't be here. Like I
Yeah.
told her, no, I'm refusing this. My mom's like, oh fuck no, you are. You are getting
Yeah.
this blood transfusion. You will
Yeah.
live, young lady.
Whatever
Right?
it
But
is.
but why? Why did I believe my life was like that? Because I saw shows like Grey's Anatomy that said this is what life is like.
It should be
Right?
like, yeah.
So we believe that our lives are going to be like that because what we've seen in television and film is that the lives of disabled
Exactly.
people suck.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
why would you want to be that person? So until we start seeing positive portrayals, we get people out there like Sex Education, where he's a
Yeah.
complex character that does art and meets people and has relationships, and like until that is in everything that we see
Mhm.
all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
you gotta
And then I
get
think the
rid of
wife's
some of the
portrayal,
tropes.
you see able-bodied people out there, seeing this wife, care and the life that she doesn't want and blah, blah, blah. And if you don't know anybody, another woman who's married to someone who's disabled or whatever, you think, oh, hell no, there's no way I would stay, kind of a thing.
Or get involved
Kind
with
of a
somebody
view.
that's like that,
Or
right?
nothing like that. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, no, we're, kind of a thing.
well,
And
on that,
so,
in that movie, Million Dollar Baby, my reasoning why he wrote that as to kill herself, he was pissed off at the disabled because his restaurant
Yep.
got sued because it was not ADA compliant 3 years before that movie came out. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
right. What an a-hole.
well, that's another reason that pisses me off. I'm like, I bet you he wrote that in because he was pissed
Oh
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's
I mean,
what I
yeah.
know.
But we do have it. It's getting, when I say it's getting better, there is an actor, maybe you know his name, Ellen. He was an actor beforehand. Now he's paralyzed. He's now on his second TV series show. Now he's in a TV show called Shifting Gears.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
black
Daryl
actor.
Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on CSI New Orleans, NCIS New
Yeah.
Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
he was
like
an
him.
actor
He's funny.
beforehand. And he's now, continuing, he's still getting his roles.
Daryl
Yeah.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Daryl Mitchell.
Yeah,
Chill.
Daryl
Mhm.
Mitchell. Yeah, I know, but he was an actor beforehand. But it took him a long time to get back and to get some good roles. But
Yeah.
but he's an actor and he's working at it and he's in there. And I haven't seen it, but he's a great comedian. He does comedic work.
Mhm.
But then why
Yeah.
in Superstore was not Daryl cast?
Yeah.
And what?
Right.
Because in Superstore they have the guy in the wheelchair, the black guy in the
Oh.
wheelchair.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you can tell.
Able-bodied guy. Daryl was injured back then, perfectly capable
Yeah.
of being it. They didn't
Well,
cast him, and
I,
they did casting calls, and they'd already cast an able-bodied actor.
yeah. They don't even
Wasn't
try,
They
right?
did
Well,
casting calls
And I
already
mean,
after
just think of
they've
the guys
done
that
it,
we
and they haven't
know,
even like,
Danny and Toby and, countless
oh
others
yeah,
who are trying to get into, film
and they're
and
doing
TV and
awesome because
commercial.
Toby is doing great and getting stuff in there, and
Yeah.
Danny's on a new something.
Yeah.
He's in something, but I mean, it's like they're there, but it's not as equitable as it is for everybody else. I mean, and as
Oh,
you pointed out,
absolutely not.
Michelle, that's the same
Yeah.
for other marginalized populations, right? It's those that are
Exactly.
not the non-dominant getting in there. And now with the new shift politically, we're seeing a shift back to less, but it's always been like that.
Ooh.
Like the 80s were really big with disabled actors, a lot of stuff going
Yeah.
on in the 80s. Then we got into the 2000s, not so much. And now we're coming back again, seeing people. But I think it's just, if we would see, not, it doesn't have to be that's why I think I love Sex Education. It's not the storyline of the whole show. It's just a character. He's just part
Yeah.
of the whole ensemble. And so if we just see it all the time, right? If
Yeah.
every show had one character with some disability, as Joe in the barber shop or Julia in the diner, you know what I mean? And just see them,
Yeah.
they're just there and they're just living their
And that's
life.
the thing. That's what they're doing a lot with commercials nowadays. It's like they've got a guy in a wheelchair roll across,
No, but
go out
that's
the door
starting
or
to piss
whatever
me
it
off.
is.
I'm starting to get pissed off at that because okay, yay, they have somebody in the background in a chair. I'm seeing it a lot, either, a commercial, the guy comes out, makes a right out of the store, and behind him is somebody in a chair. And
it's like, why can't he be the feature on the commercial?
Exactly. Or the little girl in the background and all. Yeah. I'm seeing it in the background, and that's starting to get old. It's like, is that just a pity, and,
a little token, guy in a wheelchair.
That's exactly what it is. It's a token.
Yeah, they think they're meeting the needs of their general audience of being all inclusive, but
now that's why I said it has to be like a side character in whatever show. They're the receptionist that gets to talk, that gets more than 5 lines, and you get some storylines, and they don't be the focus show, and that their disability is not really just, it doesn't have to be discussed. It's,
no, exactly not. They're just
somebody, and maybe it'll come up because somebody's in the handicap stall, right? You want to make a point, you're like, Jesus, fuck, and you have an episode where they're waiting out there.
Yeah.
One, 18 stalls are open, and the one disabled stall has got somebody painting their toenails and changing their clothes in there, and, having a dance party. You're like, okay.
Right.
But I mean, those scenes are funny. Like, what do you do? Looking under, like, are you done yet? I mean, like, just make that part of it all. But what would you say is like one of your favorites or your most hated portrayal? I mean, Bobby, you really, what was the thing about Clint Eastwood? You said that, she's I thought that in $1 Million Baby, it was so against who she was as a person, as a fighter to fight.
Right. Yeah, that's
and who her family was too, She had a shitty family, she had zero support. They were all just after her money. And unfortunately, there are certain situations of life, you think if you didn't have the support that you had from family and friends immediately after your injury, damn, hell yeah, life would look, really freaking grim, and we would all like, hell no, I don't have anybody who's going to be there for me, kind of a thing. Yeah. I mean, not that I condone, killing her off. Come on, Clint.
Well, but that's why we have systems. Like, I mean, and I will say, Triumph going out to the hospital, showing people.
Exactly.
And Nicole said, like, she wants to see. Yeah, I want to see people with disabilities cast as main characters. Absolutely, and we have a few, as main characters in an ensemble cast as a main part of the ensemble. And I would love to see where the focus is not on their chair; it's on their lives as parents, whatever the hell else they do. I think that's important, and I do think that going back to Coming Home, that was one of the things they showed him as a whole person, and not tokenistic. But again, the movie doesn't have to be. I will just say my hated one, Avatar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah.
Avatar. There is no reason that actor had to be a wheelchair user, except to make the audience feel good when he got to be the Avatar. And he could have been he could have just been any vet coming home and doing this, because who wouldn't want to be able to fly and jump and live in Pandora?
Right, yeah.
But they put him in a wheelchair. And when I saw that movie in the theater and I had transferred and my chair came around to transfer in, I felt like everybody in the theater was staring at me going, oh, I bet you wish she could be that. Because it was all done for pity. It was all done to make the audience feel good that he was free in this mind
Yeah.
world. And I was like,
The world, absolutely.
that
Yeah.
to me just reinforced so many subliminal stereotypes about
Oh
I will
yeah.
never be happy with my life. I will, my life will always just, I always will just want to walk again.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
how?
absolutely.
I get around faster than most of those damn students on campus in my wheelchair.
Well, I got
Absolutely.
a best and a worst all in one.
Okay, that's good.
And I have two bests. The first one is going to be Monkey Shine for me. It's a horror movie.
Horrible. Oh my God.
I watched it when I was in rehab, and you know what I liked? That I knew I was going to have sex, in my life as someone with a disability. They threw in a sex scene with the quad, and it looked real enough. Now I can probably watch it now, going, "Oh my God, that is the worst portrayal of a quad." I mean, it's been a while since I saw it, but
I just want the monkey.
I was just like, okay. And then it reassured me later after not the greatest movie, A Water Dance. Remember that? I think you and I
Yeah,
went to
with
the
Eric
premiere.
Stoltz.
Yeah. I think all three of us were at the premiere.
I think so.
Oh yeah, we were.
I think we were at
Yeah.
the premiere.
So that was,
forgot
they
about that,
did
yeah.
a good sex scene. I mean, Helen Hunt, she knows how to no pun intended, ride the disabled characters, let's put it that way. She's been in a couple films with disabled, and she's done it that way. But my best worst all in one was a movie of the week called Shattered with Christy Alley.
Oh my God, I remember that. Oh God,
I don't
yeah.
remember
I
this
don't.
one.
I don't remember
Oh
that.
my God.
I don't remember it.
She played, somebody that got hit at a bus stop. Her transfers was pretty much her standing up and then pivoting over.
It was ridiculous, yeah. But
She
didn't she
played,
go to Northridge though to talk to people and therapists and stuff, and she still sucked at it.
yeah. Well, and she had us. I was in the movie. Um, we got to sit around. Nancy Becky Kennedy was in it. Rest her soul, Nancy. Love
Yeah, I
you.
remember.
God rest her.
She was in it. She had a speaking role, but then it was the greatest movie because Christy Alley fell in love with me. And close your ears, Nicole. You're too young for this.
Ooh.
I got to make out with Christy Alley after the day.
There you go. See?
And if her trailer was ADA accessible, because she goes, "Dang, I wish I can get you into my trailer."
Oh my
Oh.
God, that's awesome.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So the best words, but when I saw
Use
it,
you and lose you is what she wanted to do.
Yeah, well, that's all right. And Bobby's like, that's all right. I don't mind.
I got enough.
Right, yeah.
That's
But-
hilarious.
Do you have one, Robert? Best worst?
Mine, not really. I just when I'm real critical of anything when I see somebody with a disability in a movie.
Yeah.
I look at the wheelchair. I look at how they maneuver in the wheelchair, and right away that sets my tone
right away.
for it. Yeah, I go, oh man,
You
they're
can
sitting in
spot
a
the
chair.
fakers, right?
Yeah, and they don't have a cushion or the way they're pushing. So that's my pet peeve. Whether it's good or bad, I
Yeah.
zero in on that, on their portrayal of that, and that's how I know.
Yeah.
You got to read the chat, Bobby. I had a casting director tell me once that I didn't move naturally in my wheelchair.
Oh my God.
Like, really? And how am I've been using it for, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how I'm supposed to be moving in it. Yeah. So, Bobby, did you like water dance or not like water dance?
It was okay. I mean, I appreciated that. Let's just say, and not I don't base my movies off their sex scenes because I said it about Monkey Shine, but I liked it when it did come down to that because I was young. I mean, literally, Monkey Shine.
I don't remember the sex scene.
You were a baby in the hospital? Yeah.
No, I thought she said she had an ice box for a pussy. And she was so bitter and angry, and I thought she didn't have sex with him.
Maybe it wasn't Water Dance. What was the one with Helen Hunt and Eric Stoltz?
Yeah, no, that was it.
That's not water dance. I don't think so.
No, but in water dance they did at the hospital.
No,
Remember
they
they
didn't
pull the
have
curtains
sex.
and there's 20
What is
million
that? I'm
people.
sorry.
That
And I
was
have
the other one where she's the sex therapist that goes to the gentleman who
no,
lives
not
most
that.
of his life in an iron lung.
No,
Yeah,
Water
no,
Dance was Helen Hunt. I'm thinking about a different one then. So Water Dance is not the one I'm thinking
yeah, I
about.
know
I'm
you're
thinking about
thinking
the
of
one
the
with
one.
we went to the premiere and she said and the guy from Law and Order that was in
Yeah.
it. And she said I have an icebox for a pussy and she was bitter and angry. Yeah, Water Dance was Eric Stoltz and Helen
Yeah.
Hunt. That one
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
good. I'm thinking of the other one with I don't know her
Yeah.
name.
Oh,
Michelle,
gosh.
The Session is the one you're thinking of with Helen
Is
Hunt.
that's the other one with
Yeah.
Helen Hunt? Yeah.
Oh,
But
the
you
Session,
know,
yeah.
yeah. But the Water Dance where, you know, they got him on the bed and then,
Yes.
undressed and
Oh, God.
he starts leaking, and he's pissed, he's like, oh man,
Yeah.
and he's pissed off and he's about to ruin what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, she's like not bothered by it. Hey, I'll clean it up. It's no big deal. And I
Yeah.
just appreciated that part. I mean,
That
I
would be
would
good.
Is that why
I
they
don't
called
know
it the water dance? Because he leaks
No,
maybe,
it.
yeah.
it's a movie.
Ah,
It's a line from a
for
movie.
sure. Yeah.
Sam Waterston was in it.
Oh, I know which one you're thinking, Aaron. What's her?
92.
And we went to premieres. All of us went to a premiere for it because
Yeah,
I
but
Yeah,
but we
Century
all went to
City.
Water Dance too. We all went to Water
yeah,
Dance.
we wandered down Sam Waterston. I'm trying to find it.
How,
Anybody know
how
in the
old is
chat?
that
Sam
movie?
Waterston. Oh,
How,
Murderball, Eric. Excellent. Murderball
yeah,
was
that was a
so
good one.
good.
Mm.
So
Murderball is one
how long ago was that
a
Water
long
Dance movie?
time ago, like 25 years ago. Water
Oh,
Dance was
90, like 94,
92. Yeah.
92, 94.
92.
So, Eric,
yeah.
I definitely agree with you. Murderball was a great movie,
Yeah.
but I also
Yeah.
put it in, as you said, it was up for documentary of the year. Now, going to find documentaries these days with people
Yeah.
are disabled, absolutely. I find them all the time. They've been getting better and better.
Mhm.
Even when you don't even agree, there's one on HBO where the guy it was his accident was filmed. He was on a mountain bike, and then
Oh.
afterward, he's low injury, T1 maybe, T2, incomplete, and he's just picked off the whole movie because he wants to walk, and he'll do anything to walk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
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 I mean, for us who've been, I mean, that was probably 6 years ago when that came out. Remember, Robert, we used to talk about it, our support group. And,
Yeah.
a lot of us who have been injured were more like, hey, just be happy you got what you got, but that's us, that's us. I mean, and I didn't
Yeah.
agree with it, but it's out there. It's a
Yeah.
great documentary. There's one with these
Well,
Canadian guys
I mean,
called
and that one,
Quantum.
if that's his story, I get that, right? That it's a documentary, it's somebody's
Yeah.
story, and I
Yeah.
can't tell anybody how to live. Like, it's not my job to tell you what makes a quality life. But I think we
Yeah.
need to balance those with more
Exactly.
positive. Like, you have to have you can still choose what you want to choose, and I'm not going to stop you. But let's you can't get a vasectomy without going 30 days and making a decision, right? Let's have a timeline before you
You're right. There
decide
you go.
this is what you're going to do.
What you're
Live
gonna
life,
do. Yeah.
right? So make a decision that's yeah. I mean, I think that's the problem with that.
Well, here's where I'm coming from in terms of the public's perspective, and I see it. So I don't pay much attention to it because I don't really have any kids or anything. But there's a lot of cartoons and children's programs that are inclusive with wheelchairs now, where they're more aware of it than a lot of adults nowadays. So
Well,
I
kids
think
are
that's
much more accepting than adults are.
yes,
You
well,
know,
exactly, and
kids see what.
yeah, but as they grow up, they're already aware. There's an awareness nowadays.
Which
Like
is
you get
awesome.
onto well, you get onto social media on some of these like TikTok and stuff like that, and you have some of these influencers that are in wheelchairs, and they're doing all this stuff. And some of the questions that they get from their audience are amazing. That people are so unaware. The questions they're asking, and I'm shocked at that. I really am kind
Yeah.
of shocked at that because here we are, 2025, and people are asking some of these. I mean, I'm not saying
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
they're just, the questions are just
Yeah.
unbelievable that
People, I
they
guess
believe that.
they're ignorant and they don't choose to learn more about people's real lives and what it
Yeah,
entails and what it is
yeah,
and that we're real people, we're out
yeah,
there and doing our thing and all of that. And if you hang on to those stereotypes that are putting out there, and that's their version of what a person with disability is.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
Mhm.
why the more you are out there, I was part of a think tank one time, and the CEO or president of the board, blah, 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 the company we were working with was amazed during the break because before that we were all talking about, what our lives were,
Yeah,
regarding transportation and this and that. And of course, we have 20 million freaking reasons why to be pissed off, about transportation or about living with a disability. So
Oh,
then we
don't get
take a break and we're all sitting there and we're talking and we're laughing and we're going on and on. And he kind of comes up to me and he's so amazed that there's so much negative in our lives, but here we are talking and laughing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, we have to live our life. We can choose to be bitter and hateful every day of our life and never leave the house. But, you know, that ain't the way it's gonna be. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna do what I
yeah,
want to do. I'm gonna socialize and have fun. And it's like, wow, he saw us like regular people. Hey, you're hanging out,
That's
you're
amazing.
talking, you're
Right.
laughing,
Yeah.
exactly, right. So
And that the
Oh, Friday Night
percentage
Lights is really good too. Sorry. I'm just
that
reading Eric about there.
yeah, and no, you're right. Not really disabled, but and that
That
sucks
was a
that they
great
didn't play somebody
trail.
who was disabled. Yeah,
mhm.
um, but the percentage that you're talking about, Michelle, is 5 to 10.
Yeah,
It just sucks that a lot of people think of that 5 to 10 as most of us, more like
exactly.
maybe
yeah,
80% of us. I mean, we still
Yeah.
have a long way to go.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
how many
I think
times
so.
this week when you're at the store doing something, somebody just kind of looked over and like, hey,
hmm
you know,
It's just,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, just what people see
need
out
to
there,
get
even
out there.
in real life. I once a month I have dinner with two other gals who are wheelchair users, and we go to the same restaurant every month, right? And you enter, and then you have to go through the bar to get to the table area. So you see these three women rolling in wheelchairs. Everybody at the bar turns around and looks at us like, "Oh my God, there's three of them all together, and it's like
Woo!
they're gonna come
God
have
bless
dinner
them.
like everybody else."
Wasn't that
And we
like
Well,
Good
just
Girl?
smile and say hi and go about and have our dinner and our margaritas, and that's that.
for Ellen and I, we used to go to Acapulco's after our first day of sports camp. I think we did this 4 years in a row, and
Way
we're
back when, yeah.
pushing down the sidewalk to enter the building. You have to go almost all the way around. Every year we would say, I bet you everybody that's looking out the window right now going, who let Jerry's kids out? We would always say that.
And we always said, aren't you such a cute couple? You're such a cute
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
couple.
really,
Yeah, we're
really.
always a cute couple. It's funny because Eric Stoltz, that was in Water Dance, was
Uh-huh.
also then in Mask. Like he did, like Helen
Yeah,
Hunt,
Oh
a
yeah.
bunch of the. Let
Oh
me
yeah.
see how
I learned
disabled
this
the
little
different ones they could do.
You are.
thinking of him. I learned a little tidbit that he was supposed to be Marty McFly in Born on the 4th of July, and they started filming, and he was too critical about Marty McFly's character. They
Yeah.
out him and put in Michael J. Fox.
They made a good choice
I
there.
don't know if it was true, but I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good choice. Eric Stoltz
Yeah.
is. I don't know if you ever saw him in. He plays an angel
Oh my
and
goodness.
like it's
Angel?
scary, a little scary angel. It was a
Oh,
scary movie, but I can't
oh,
think of the name of it because I'm getting
oh.
old. My brain is just not working now. But he was
that's right.
really good because they don't show them with wings, but his body movements, like he was, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Is
Angelic.
he still alive?
Yeah. I'm guessing he still is.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
So,
You know,
yeah. So what? So it's up to us to change the perception, to change the image that people have of people with disabilities. So you go out there and you have dinner and you go to concerts and you go to the park and you go to the grocery store and, people look at you, so what? Hey, they're learning that, you know what? Oh my goodness, she can go to the grocery store and get her own food and this and that. And we're just, hey, normal people going about our day doing what we want, just like everybody else. So the more you're out there, the more you're opening people's eyes to the fact that
is true.
we're just regular people, you know?
Oh,
You know,
Dana says go to Calavera on Nordhoff. It's got a lot of space.
um, what was I going to say?
Ooh,
It's not going to go
sounds
away.
good.
You know, people, you know,
Yeah,
are going
I
to look.
agree.
It's not going to go away. I mean, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. I stare at a lot of disabled people. You know, not only those in chairs, but those, you know, special needs. It's not staring. It's just, you know, glancing over.
Curiosity.
You
It's
think about
curiosity.
I mean,
the story. Yeah, you think about the story, and you know, I've gone by a mother with her special needs daughter. I'm like, you know, just to say hello. You know, I know not to use that. You know, oh wow, what a wonderful mother or anything like that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
no, I mean, we know how to act, but I still, you know, if I look down the grocery aisle and I see somebody else, it's like, okay, you know,
hey, yeah,
it goes
We
in my
all
mind. And I know some people want to just say something. You know, some people want to, you know, yeah, let's go out and stare at. Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
each other.
stare at
I,
people all the time, whether they
if
have
I go to,
disabilities or not. I just stare at people. So, I
I'm
find
not a
people
Disney.
fascinating.
Yeah, I'm not a
so if
Disneyland.
anybody wants to, yeah, as Gata put, let's all go to Calavera so people can see us drink and see how normal we are when we're drunk.
Well, Bobby, what about when we go to lunch after the push to the pier? We'll go to Huntington Beach and
Oh yeah,
take a
ooh,
take a
tennis.
we'll take a yeah yeah, that's right, you were there. So we've been going to this one place, and it seems like that we seem to blend in more. We don't. There's not a lot of attention given to us
No,
by the patrons. So I mean, it's
Now,
just yeah, it just was it's just real comfortable there.
you're just
I
rolling.
don't
Yeah,
mind standing up if they're going to buy me a drink.
there you
So
go.
if I stand down, they're like, "You're so amazing. Let me buy you a drink." Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Anybody
thank
else
you,
think I'm
thank you.
amazing? Because I'd really like that $4,000 bottle of champagne if you think I'm
Yeah.
amazing. Send it on over.
Amazing.
I'll laugh and smile. I think sometimes it's fine, and I can try to
Yeah.
understand. Sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
invasive. And
Yeah.
I love that you guys brought up the cartoons because I think the kids. I mean, look at what Sesame Street has done. Like Sesame
Yeah.
Street
Oh
has
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
totally incorporated diversity, and kids that
Yeah.
there's so many studies that kids that watch Sesame Street are
Mhm.
so much
Yeah.
more accommodating to all types of differences in people. I mean, so I think the more that we see it and the more that we go out, I agree with you. But I also think that people, like with pregnant women and other people, there's like a boundary issue, that there's a sort of an entitlement to invade my space and ask me about maybe one of the most traumatic things in my life. You don't know that you wouldn't ask
Exactly.
other people. And so I think that that's sort of, if we are seen as people, then give us the same consideration and respect that you would
Exactly.
other people. But somehow having a visible disability opens up this, what happened to you? I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know
or
what
you
you're
get,
talking
or you get the ones that say, you know, I know what you're going through because I was in a chair for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Or I'd
Yeah,
kill
see-
myself if that happened to me. Oh my God, I'd kill myself if that happened to me.
Yeah.
Thank you for
But see-
validating my existence.
For me,
There you
know-
it
go.
doesn't bother. It doesn't bother me. People asking me what happened. Like, hey, this and that. And they're curious. And so
I'm
yeah,
curious.
I
guess
mean, you can say whatever you want. You don't,
Yeah,
have
listen.
to. That doesn't have to be
Oh
your
no,
real
I lie all
story.
the time.
No,
I
no,
know, I
hey, I
don't
was
lie.
skydiving.
Just make up
blah,
a good
blah,
story.
or
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
something
yeah,
exciting, right?
I broke my neck surfing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I use other people's stories some of them are horrible because I know somebody that was stabbed by her ex partner, and they also killed her new fiance. So I'm like, so we
Oh
just say that
man.
to them. Well, yeah, it was my ex came in and stabbed me and killed my fiance. Thanks for asking. And I walk away.
Yeah, right.
I walk
I know.
away. I'm like,
I
Oh,
don't
told her
ask
when I was at a
questions you
restaurant.
don't want answers to, because that, I mean, you
right.
don't know
Yeah.
somebody's story, and get to know me
Yeah,
first, at least, say
Yeah.
exactly.
hi.
Yeah. And they don't know how recent your trauma was. It could have just been last year or 36 years ago. I mean, they don't know what the real story is, and why would you come
Yeah.
up to something like that? I mean, what if it triggers something really awful for that person? It would, in some
Well,
cases, it can.
yeah,
You know.
Eric said it happened to him twice,
Yeah.
and it's hard for him to probably explain when people are looking at
Mhm.
him and asking that question. I know we have to wrap up here soon. It's at the bottom of
Yeah.
the hour, but uh, my last words for the discussion is,
Hello.
Hi.
as the
Hey,
wife
Ellen.
comes by and makes a cameo.
Sorry, I need something out of the fridge. Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
Hi, baby.
Is that
Hey,
Robert
Ellen.
Soto?
Yeah, that's
Hi,
right.
Robert.
Yep. Hi.
She's the token AB on our show today, going across the background.
Yeah. No, she
That's
should have
right.
been in one of the chairs. She should get in the
She's
chair and roll in the
dealt
background.
with her own disabilities.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Thank you. Yeah, my brain is like not quite what it used to be, but I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
You look amazing.
Absolutely.
My heroes.
Go Broncos tonight.
Broncos.
Oh my God, that's crazy, Eric.
Thanks,
I
babe.
saw you have the hat and the shirt is on.
Well, I haven't
Right?
even put
Yeah.
my jersey on yet. What I was
Yeah,
going
it's
to say
perfectly.
is I have a saying in life. I'm a rock star, and or you can be an actor. When we see people in the community that might be in the movies or might be on TV that you recognize, and when people see them, what do? Stare. Can I get a
Yeah.
selfie with you? Nowadays, a selfie or an autograph. It's got to be pretty annoying when somebody thinks they can make a conversation when the person just wants to have dinner. And I've
Yeah.
seen it before with Tim Allen that this guy just harassed him kind of, and they were sitting next to each other, and we were on the other side. And my girlfriend at the time, we didn't say anything. And after when they had walked out and like half an hour went by, and finally he was walking out as the waiter's like, "Oh, he's paying for your dinner." So my dinner got bought by Tim Allen because I probably just gave him his space. It respected
Yeah.
him,
Yeah. Hey, that's cool. Free
but
dinner.
I say that I'm a rock star because people are going to stare. People are, going to be in awe of me, like a rock star.
Well, as they should be. I mean, you
And
are.
That's
but I
right.
take that- right. But I take that as, to try to make it positive when it is out there,
Yeah,
that
no,
somebody
absolutely. Yeah, you're going to stare, then I'm going to be the rock star and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to shine. And, good
and I'm
for
going to
you.
cut in line. And when I get somebody says, "Hey, do you want to go to the front of the line?" Hell yeah, I want to go to the front of the
Yeah,
line.
that's right.
You want
Or
to get served
going,
first? Hell
or
yeah, I
Bobby
want to
going in through the VIP section at SoFi.
or going to the VIP at SoFi. Or, when they,
There you
yeah,
go, right?
But a lot of that is because they have not created normal accommodations. Like a lot of the VIP treatment we get is because the normal routes aren't necessarily fully accessible or thought about because that
no,
would be too much money.
we went into the VIP of wheelchair accessible seats that were $400 more than our ticket was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
No, I mean I'm happy. Upgrade me all you want. First class, first class.
There you go, right?
I have no problem with it.
Exactly.
Again, I recently, because they didn't have the aisle chair, the co-pilot of the plane said, "I'll just carry you off home." I'm like, that hasn't happened to me since I was in my 20s in a chair, but sure.
Right, there you go.
And are you single? Because
There you
if you're a
go.
pilot, we'd be drunk. But no, I mean, people are going to stare. We stare at everybody again, but I think that we just need portrayals that people can make better informed ideas about who we are, as opposed to biased ideas about our lives and who we are.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right? Because
Absolutely.
there are a lot of single young men and women out there in chairs looking for love, looking for partners, and these biases,
Absolutely.
looking for jobs, right? Looking to be part of the community, and those biases are creating attitudinal barriers. And until we
Absolutely.
see more portrayals of people just being people, people don't think about it. We don't build new houses that are just accessible, right?
No, not at all.
All of them have steps, right? I mean, it's just crazy. Like, whether it's temporary or permanent, at some point, somebody's going to be able to use a ramp or a wider door or a higher toilet. So, and
Exactly.
it's not even just that, or you're going to have a friend or a family member that you can't go visit, right? So,
Or to
why
come
are we
over.
just not, if we're thinking about the diversity of humanity, then I think that we just need to be including it in every aspect. So it's
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
the oddball out, it's just what it is. That's my last thought.
Exactly. Sounds
Damn
good. And if people ask what's wrong, you're perfectly fine to say nothing. Why? What's wrong with you? You know, and go about your day.
Yeah.
All right, who's going to do
Nothing.
our
Sean, what
sponsors again?
happened?
Because Sean is, there we are.
There we
Again,
go.
mobility professionals and urology professionals, and Bobby Rohan and Robert Soda and Michelle, always a gracious host. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really do
Thank you,
appreciate the
guys.
support
Yeah,
by
thanks for
these
joining
incredible
us.
people. Yes, thank you. Great conversation. So good to see Big Gabe. You can
Woo.
give her a big kiss for me. Robert, so good to see you. I remember talking at the
Thank you.
expo with you a little
Yep.
bit about
Yep.
like, you are my person. You will be my person to go to. Like, okay, how do we deal with
Well,
this? How do
I'm
we deal with
available.
that?
There you go.
Yeah. I'm
You know,
around.
I get to look up to you for doing this 10 years longer than me, and wanting to do it for
Absolutely.
20 or 30 more. So my goal is, you
Yeah.
know, to be here until I'm 98 at least.
Yeah.
I do have something serious, this is just going to take a minute. So please, in your heart, say a big prayer and give your love and support for our Live to Roll member, Paul Guffison, on our Rolling Over the Hill show. He's about to lose his wife. She's not getting better.
Mhm.
That she's on a respirator right now, and it's still declining. He's reached out. He said, "I can share." And so please put his, your thoughts and prayers for him tonight and continue. So I can't imagine. I just kind of been down all day. Thank God I had
Yeah.
Michelle to talk to a little. Thank you, Michelle, today. And
That yeah,
so,
that's tough. That's really tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we're
we'll
with you,
pray.
Paul. We're here for you.
Yep.
Sending positive energy and
Yeah.
just prayers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, you guys.
Thank you all.
Take care.
Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a
Thank
great.
you.
We'll see y'all next month. Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate every single one of you out there, and
Perfect.
so good to have you guys on.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you
guys.
for having us.
Anytime.